Yo, Unconventionally Miles Podcast, another episode. I hope you guys are enjoying the episodes, liking, subscribing, commenting, sharing it with your friends, family, and loved ones. I wanted to talk about some great things today. This episode is definitely called Food for Thought. Some things I'm going to discuss I would like you guys to really listen to and then ask yourself if this applies to you. I'm seeing a lot of people in pain. You know, sometimes pain is invisible, but you can't hide the scars that the pain provided. It's cool to drink, smoke, party, things of that nature. But when you're drinking or smoking or popping pills and doing all these things to mask pain, it's not necessary. It's not going to get you the result that you want. Because when you wake up that morning, you're going to still feel the same pain. You're still going to feel the same things. You can't mask something that you need to face. We all have confidence built inside of us. And sometimes we need a little push with that confidence. And sometimes we got to look ourselves in the mirror and gain that confidence. Right? This has been a crazy week. Crazy weekend. I'm having individuals going through some things. I think a doctor prescribed somebody that I know some pills to deal with one issue, but if that person take these pills, it's going to create a whole nother issue. And sometimes we be so down deep in depression that we just want something to mask the pain. Food for thought, man. Medicine, or quote unquote pills, or smoking yourself into a coma, or drinking yourself into you unconscious is not going to give you the result or the answers that you're looking for. Life is hard. We all going to go through problems, trials, and tribulations that we sometimes feel we can't deal with. But I'm here to tell you this: you're stronger than what you believe, and you can get through it. Hard times never last long. They last longer in our mental state more than what you actually think. I was speaking to my brother, and I was talking to him, and he's in the music industry. And he just told me a lot of the stories he was going through. And one thing I could say about him is, no matter what the situation is or was, he always faced it head on. He may not get the result he wants. You're not facing problems or situations head on to get the result you want. You're facing those problems head on so you don't have to worry about them later on down the line. Right? So if you're dealing with something where you have to take medicine or pills and you know they're not the right thing to do, sometimes you have to reevaluate how you're living and what you're doing and changing some things up. I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to tell you I can cure your issue. But one thing I know is a lot of things happen internally is what you put in your body, and the result, your body's reacting what you put in your body, and it's causing those issues and those pain, that pain you're receiving. What you put in your body in return is going to be delivered how you deal with things on a day-to-day basis and how you feel. Food for thought, moment of clarity. These are some things that we all need to think about and listen to and take heed to. Not because it's coming from me, because if you ask yourself in the nighttime or in the mirror, am I doing everything I can to be great or be the best person I could be, and you're not getting that result, only you could change that. Right? It's cool to party. I used to party all the time. I used to drink. I'm not going to say too much, but I used to drink to enjoy myself. I never was a smoker. I have not ever popped pills. Right? And popping pills sometimes are things that people do on leisure, and sometimes you get addicted to the pills you pop because they're provided to you by a doctor. And I don't knock the doctors, but I know how my body feels. So I'm always going to go with the judgment on how my body feels over what somebody prescribed to me. No? Also, make sure you're taking care of yourself, people. You only get one life. You only get one opportunity. The longer you bask in negativity, the longer you letting time go by, you're missing the opportunity to be better than you were a second, minute, or hour ago. You know, like if you see somebody doing better than what you are, don't even trip. It could be their time. You don't know what they went through to get that, right? So sometimes I see people either talk to me or look at what I got and feel like, I just want to be where you at. But you don't know all the years and all the pain I put in to get where I'm at. You know, stay down till you come up. Your time is right around the corner. A lot of times individuals give up right before their big break. Working out, whether it's walking, lifting weights, sleeping better, being around positive people. You know, so all those things matter. If you want to manifest, quote unquote, the success that you're looking for, before you can manifest anything and take action, you have to take care of yourself to have the energy to actually work towards being better. You could read a ton of books, you could listen to a ton of podcasts, but you still have to wake up and do the steps needed to have the energy and the mental capacity to move in that realm. We all see what's going on with social media. We all see what's going on with the people around us. We all see what we're doing. Sometimes we try to hide what we're doing, but we know what's really taking place. I had some conversations with some individuals, and they mentioned some of the people that I hang around is like no good people. It was crazy. Like, I heard crazy things about people I hang out with. I never seen that energy to the extent that they was explaining it to me in. But then when I sat back, I'm like, yo, they actually right. There's some validity in that. So being that I'm the friend I am and family member I am, I got to have that conversation and just temperature check. Is this somebody I want to be around or continue being around? Food for thought. You're the most important person in your life. And if you don't treat yourself like you're the most important person, no one else will. No one else will. And don't try not to look for somebody to save you, to help you get out of your situation, no matter what's going on. Your car break down, you lost your job, your significant other left, cheated, you have too many kids, you're a single parent, you don't have enough money. Still wake up, deal with that issue, keep pushing forward, keep staying consistent. As long as you don't give up, usually things get better. Once you start basking in what's going on and letting your mental get the best of you and let your situation get the best of you, it's going to be so much more difficult to get out of that issue that you're facing. We're all dealing with issues. Sometimes we're going to feel like our issue is much more worse than someone else's because we're physically in it. And I hear the excuse all the time. You're not in it, that's why you don't think it's difficult. I don't have to be in your exact situation to know that we all have tough times and it's things that we have to figure out. The most important person is you in your life. In order to help someone else, you have to take care of you first. You have to be strong enough to see that it's a problem with you that needs to be fixed and only you can fix it. And when you start moving in a positive light and just saying, you know what, I'm not going to give up, you start seeing a light at the end of the tunnel. It's no microwave results. Sometimes we want microwave results. No, you got to go through the pain. The pain is invisible a lot of the times because we mask it so no one knows we're going through it. But yet, how can someone help you if they don't know what you're going through? That's when communication comes in. Effective communication, active listening is vital in any relationship. I never understood why someone will tell a complete stranger their life story but won't talk to the person they lay down with about what's going on. Sometimes you will go somewhere else to relieve a problem but come back home to the situation that is the problem and won't have a conversation with that person, but y'all stay together. It doesn't make sense. Food for thought. You have to look at yourself in the mirror and make sure that You're being the best you that you actually can be. When you wake up, are you automatically complaining? When you wake up, are you trying to be better than yesterday? When you wake up, do you have excuses about what your life is? You're the only one that can change your life the quickest. Yes, we all think, oh, you get a ton of money, my life is going to change. That problem that you previously had may not be there, but that new problem is going to be just as bad. If you get a ton of money and you're not used to having a ton of money, what you think is going to happen when individuals ask you for money or you have to make decisions and you've never been in that situation before? It's just a different problem. How Big said it, more money, more problems. Right? So be careful what you wish for and stay down until you come up. Don't look at anybody else's life and think it's a lot easier because you feel you know what they're going through. And don't judge people who's going through something either. If you could provide help, help. But those who are going through these issues, make sure you communicate. No matter what you're going through, pick your head up, walk tall, pick your chin up, keep grinding, keep motivating, keep trying to be successful. But don't mash your pain in a drug. Don't mash your pain into sleeping all day. Don't mash your pain into complaining. Also, and this is going to hit some people because they know who I'm talking to. I'm around you, right? Trying to be alone to fix a problem that you put yourself in when you was alone is going to be very hard to get out of because you're the problem. You can't fix a problem that you created, and you can't see no other way but the psyche that you use to get you into the problem. It just doesn't make sense. If I'm constantly in the house on the internet spending money all day, and I'm like, hey, I don't got no money now. But it's just a cycle that I keep doing, and there's no one there to help me. There's no one there to communicate with me and say, hey, this is wrong. The more I'm not around individuals, the deeper I'm going to fall into a hole. But if I allow myself to talk to someone else and say, hey, this is what I'm going through. I don't understand why I can't save money. And that person I trust or care about explain to me, no, this is why. Try to work on this. It's going to help me. Can't fix yourself alone all the time. Sometimes you need help, but it's going to take you to step forward and say, hey, I actually need help. Let's start focusing on being better, right? Parents, if you have kids, you got to talk to your kids. You got to be an effective communicator. You cannot try to live vicariously in your kids. If you didn't make it in the sport, if you didn't make it in a career, if you didn't make it in being an entertainer, when you have kids, don't force that on them. They need you to actually be a parent and not focus on what you feel they should be because you feel like you putting all these pressures on your kids, and if they make it, you made it. I met a girl who said, I don't care how a guy looks, I just need them to be tall and athletic. And then I got a better chance of not working no more because my child is going to go pro in sports. I was like, whoa, you really said that? You know what I'm saying? I heard dudes say the same thing. Yo, if I date a tall woman and we have kids and my kid has a better chance of being tall, that gives him a better chance of going to the NBA. My question is, what if your kid doesn't want to play sports? What do you do then if your child doesn't want to play sports? Do you still put that pressure on them? You know what I'm saying? Do you still put that pressure on them? My question to people is this also. If you're in a relationship, okay, and you're the reason a relationship with Rocky, okay, but you can't fix what you did, right, to make the relationship go south, and you keep pointing the finger at everyone else but looking yourself in the mirror and everyone's telling you you're the problem, what do? Do you keep thinking it's everyone else, or do you actually take the time and moment to say, you know what, maybe it was me? It's okay to be wrong. It's okay to make mistakes. But if you're in denial about the mistakes you're making and the things you did, it's going to be a lot harder for you to grow and become a better person. Looking at situations from the outside in, it's always not easy. I get it. But when you get to talk to the people who are actually in it, it gives you a different perspective on what they're going through. Also, if you're keen enough, it kind of creates a understanding of what you shouldn't do. And you have to ask yourself, do I possess these traits? Am I this type of character? Do I do this in these relationships? This podcast is about thinking and getting better. This podcast isn't about sugarcoating situations or acting like I'm better than someone else. We all have issues. It's nothing that we do that someone else don't have a similar activity, trait, or outcome. You don't have one millionaire, you have several. You don't have one person who's in poverty, you have several. You don't have one great singer, you have several. It's no situation where you're going to be alone in that situation forever. It's always someone that can relate. A big thing that I understand now is that relationships are super hard. Individuals come into relationships with preconceived notions on what the other person should do for them or what should be done. And they create roles before you even actually discuss if y'all compatible with one another. I have a ton of friends that are single mothers. It's crazy. And they doing their thing. And I just look at it like, I don't want to be in that situation where if I have a child with a woman, right? If I actually have a child with a woman, right? I don't have no children as of yet. Do I want to see that outcome of us not being together and she's a single parent or a single mom? And sometimes things happen. You can't control what you can't control. But the goal is to try to do the best you can and really put in the time to actually make a relationship work. The more and more I analyze individuals and I pay attention to myself and I have deep conversations with those around me, professionals and individuals I come across on a day-to-day basis, I understand we have so much more in common than we actually think. And sometimes we isolate ourselves to a single event and act like we're the only one going through it. It's not real. It's not true. Also, fear is imaginary in a lot of situations. We create this bigger stigma, a much larger stigma in the boogeyman of what's going to happen or this is going to happen if I do this. Come on, people. Time is running out. People are not living as long anymore. Don't watch your dreams go by. Don't watch what you really want go by. Live for your situation. Don't live vicariously in anyone else's. Yo, that's just some things on my mind. I got to really start chiming in a lot deeper on events and things that's taking place that I'm actually seeing. Oh, another thing. I'm speaking to my homegirl, and she told me a situation where, not to get too deep into it, like her son just snapped and started disrespecting her. I'm like, yo, fellas, man, listen. Fellas, ladies, respect your parents, man. Even if they're not the people you want them to be. If you got to disrespect your parents or call them all types of names and be disrespectful, you got to look at yourself. That's wrong. No matter if I don't agree with my mom or not, I don't disrespect her. I don't curse her out. It's just not worth it. It's not respectable. It's not respectful. So look yourself in the mirror. Food for thought Sunday. Ask yourself, were you a great human being today? You know what I'm saying? If you're going through an issue, talk to someone. If you're in deep depression, talk to someone. Find help. Don't utilize drugs or anything like that to try to get over something that is going to be there tomorrow. You can't mask an issue. It just gets bigger. It snowballs. Unconventionally Mild Podcast. I just wanted to touch on some topics. These are some things that was going on. I want to get a podcast out either once a week, at least once a week. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you chime in. You know what I mean? Share it with a friend. I want to continuously bring out these thoughts because I know some of the things I talk about, a ton of people are going through. Right? Every week. Right? Monday starts a new week. By the time Sunday hit, food for thought Sunday. Just like it's Soul Food Sunday, food for thought Sunday. Ask yourself, reflect on the situations that happened that whole week. Be aware of those situations. Try to be better. Treat people a lot better. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you treat people good, you will always get your blessings. There's no shortcuts. Even when you think nobody's watching, they watching. Unconventionally Miles podcast. Make sure you check out on my TikTok, my YouTube, my Instagram, Mr. Frequent Flyer Miles on Instagram, on my TikTok, Mr. Frequent Flyer Miles on my TikTok. Unconventional Miles podcast is on all platforms. So if you want to share it with a friend or telling somebody about the podcast, every single platform that's out there that does podcasts, Apple Music, Spotify, Google, Amazon, I'm on there. I appreciate you guys. Please take some of the things that I spoke about and see if you can apply it in your life, or if you have a friend that you can help, or a sibling or family member that you can help, and just make sure you discuss this with them. And if you're the person going through it, check yourself in the mirror. Check yourself in the mirror as soon as you hear this podcast. I'm talking to you if this applies to you. I'm talking to myself because some of that stuff applies to me. Unconventionally Miles, another episode. Make sure you tune in next week. I'm going to keep pumping these episodes out. I'm out. 1.